Welcome, welcome everybody. How are you doing today? It's so very nice to have you here. And I really hope that all of you are doing really, really well. There is still so much going on in the world right now with the states reopening after COVID shutdown, and yet the virus is still here. And many of us experience at least some level of uncertainty and anxiety about going back to normal activities. And I want to say at this time, of course, that is understandable. And also, there are still the protests going on, the protests against police brutality, against racism. And as challenging as these issues are, I really love how visible these issues have become. And I really love the change that is beginning to happen and the level of information that is being shared right now. And I want to continue all of us, inviting all of us to a deeper inner inquiry around the fear of others or around racism, how it arises within us. This time of change, as challenging as it may be, as it brings up still anxiety and uncertainty, it is also a very powerful invitation to awakening embodiment and freedom. Are you ready for awakening? This is really one of the main topics that I will be speaking about in our upcoming 3-week intensive. Are you ready for awakening? What stops you from awakening now? And what really stops us from awakening is both the attachment to the patterns of the past and also our inability to be here with what arises. That's why, in our programs, I often speak about both. I speak about the challenges and the issues that arise for us, and also I teach you the skills of how to be present. We speak about the nervous system and brain and about inquiry, and we learn how to be present to what arises now. I will also be speaking about trauma past and inquiry. Trauma past is often a really challenging piece of our experience that oftentimes hinders our ability to be here and be present to what arises. And I also will be speaking about what is surrender. There's so much misunderstanding about surrender, or some understanding, some misunderstanding. And especially here in the West, of what it really means to surrender, which is not so much surrendering to somebody, but surrendering to the inner sense of presence, surrendering to presence that both manifests outside of us as a teacher, but also is a teacher within that calls us into a deeper movement within. So I will be speaking about this and about unworthiness and doubt. And unworthiness, as Papaji, my teacher, used to say, is really the last attachment of the ego, the last little hiding place for the ego before awakening. So these are very unique times because of how much change is going on. And we are experiencing that change both individually and collectively. And as much as we have to face some more challenging issues, all nervous systems right now are still habitually in more, or naturally in more activation. And yet that time of change, sometimes we say, there needs to be chaos before there's like a new order, right? So these times of change are really a deeper and more powerful invitation for awakening, embodiment, and freedom. I'm looking forward to our time together in this 3-week intensive. I'm looking forward to seeing you there. And also, we have a different way of signing up for this 3-week intensive because of the 4th of July holiday. So the details are on our website, neelam.org, and please come and visit us there.